The world no longer remembers what came before. Cities stand tall, people go about their lives, and yet, something feels off. A man wakes up in an unfamiliar apartment, his reflection in the mirror a stranger's face. His mind is empty, his past erased. He steps outside and sees a society where no one asks questions, where no one recalls what happened yesterday. In the streets, blank faces walk by, their thoughts manufactured, their histories rewritten. But hidden in the shadows, there are those who know the truth. A small resistance fights against the unseen force that has stolen their memories. They whisper of a time before the Great Reset, before the world was rewritten. Clues left behind in old diaries, encrypted messages, and flashes of déjà vu haunt them as they struggle to reclaim what was lost. As the protagonist's mind slowly unravels the mystery, he realizes that the truth isn't just buried in his own memories, it's been erased from the entire world. Governments, corporations, and secret organizations hold the power to shape reality itself, deleting any trace of history that threatens their rule. Every time someone gets too close, they disappear, their existence wiped clean. Now, as the last fragments of the past slip away, the protagonist faces an impossible choice: accept the illusion and live in ignorance, or risk everything to uncover a past that was never meant to be remembered. The clock is ticking, and with each passing second, another piece of reality vanishes into the void. A group of brilliant scientists, working under a top-secret government initiative, developed a revolutionary technology designed to alter human memory. The initial concept was noble, helping trauma victims by selectively erasing painful experiences. By manipulating neural pathways, they could remove specific memories without damaging the rest of the brain's functions. Clinical trials showed promising results, allowing patients to live without the weight of past horrors. But what started as a medical breakthrough quickly turned into something far more dangerous. As the technology advanced, ethical concerns arose. If a traumatic memory could be erased, could other memories be removed as well? Could people be made to forget entire periods of their lives? Governments and powerful organizations saw the potential for control, and the project was no longer about healing, it became a tool for manipulation. Military officials envisioned a world where soldiers could be stripped of their humanity, transformed into emotionless warriors with no recollection of their past lives. Intelligence agencies considered its use for interrogations, wiping the memories of those who knew too much. Corporations saw an opportunity to erase knowledge of wrongdoing, resetting whistleblowers as if they had never existed. Despite internal resistance, the research continued in the shadows. A prototype device was developed, a headset capable of precise memory modification, able to remove and alter memories in minutes. At first, test subjects experienced gaps in their recollection, small missing details. But soon, entire identities were lost, rewritten at the will of those in control. When the first case of complete personality erasure occurred, the lead scientist, Dr. Adrian Cole, realized the horrific implications of what they had created. But by then, it was too late. The technology had already fallen into the hands of those who sought to use it for their own agenda. As the memory-wiping technology expanded beyond its initial intent, the consequences became increasingly dire. Governments and clandestine organizations seized the opportunity to wield this power for their own benefit, using it to silence dissidents, rewrite history, and shape public perception. People who opposed the system or uncovered dangerous secrets were quietly erased, not killed, but turned into blank slates, their pasts wiped clean and their identities rewritten. Society was unaware of how much had already been altered. News reports were manipulated, eyewitnesses forgot what they had seen, and entire events were erased from collective consciousness. The world was being rewritten in real time, yet no one remembered enough to question it. The wealthy and powerful saw the potential for more than just control. The elite began using the technology for personal gain, removing mistakes, failures, and scandals from their own pasts. Corrupt leaders erased any trace of their crimes. Billionaires removed memories of unethical business dealings, creating new narratives in their place. Some even experimented with memory replacement, implanting artificial experiences to craft idealized versions of their lives. The line between reality and illusion blurred as people no longer knew whether their memories were their own or manufactured by unseen hands. But with every new use of the technology, unforeseen consequences emerged. Those who had their memories erased experienced psychological fractures, episodes of déjà vu, inexplicable fears, and dreams of people and places they no longer recognized. Some began to sense that something was wrong, that parts of their lives were missing. A resistance formed, made up of individuals who had somehow retained fragments of their erased pasts. They were determined to expose the truth, but with a system designed to erase those who knew too much. Their time was running out. As memory manipulation advanced, corporations saw a lucrative opportunity beyond government control. Memory wiping and alteration became a booming industry, marketed as a way to remove trauma, eliminate guilt, or even enhance lives by replacing unwanted memories with more pleasant ones. People lined up to forget painful breakups, erase childhood trauma, or remove memories of failure and regret. For a price, anyone could rewrite their past and start anew. At first, it seemed like a miracle, people free from pain, able to sculpt their own identities. But soon, the cracks began to show. With memory alterations so widespread, individuals lost touch with their true selves. Some found gaps in their recollections, missing days, weeks, or even years. Others experienced disjointed lives, with memories that no longer fit together. A person might wake up feeling love for someone they had never met, or find themselves haunted by dreams of a past that no longer existed. Some who had erased painful experiences lost not only the trauma but the lessons that came with it. Without memories of their mistakes, they repeated them endlessly. Those who had chosen to forget their loved ones in moments of grief found themselves unable to feel love again, as if part of their humanity had been stripped away. Then came the ultimate horror, the realization that the technology was not infallible. Memory wipes were never truly permanent, fragments lingered in the subconscious, sometimes resurfacing in terrifying ways. People began experiencing visions of erased events, sensations of familiarity in places they had never been, and emotions tied to memories they no longer had. For some, this led to madness, an existential crisis where they could no longer trust their own minds. In a world where no one could be certain of their past, the very fabric of identity began to unravel. As memory wiping technology became widespread, it didn't take long for those in power to exploit it. Governments, corporations, and shadow organizations realized that controlling memories meant controlling reality itself. They began using memory erasure as a tool not just to help individuals forget painful moments, but to rewrite history itself. Dissenters and whistleblowers mysteriously lost recollection of the corruption they once sought to expose. Entire populations woke up with altered memories, believing false narratives carefully crafted to maintain control. Wars that had never happened were suddenly remembered as victories, and real atrocities were erased as if they had never occurred. At first, the changes were subtle, small modifications to official records, slight alterations in the way history was taught. But as the technology advanced, mass memory wiping became more ambitious. A dictator could erase a rebellion overnight by simply making the population forget it had ever taken place. Nations could reshape their pasts, replacing failures with triumphs, erasing entire cultures with the push of a button. Those who tried to resist found themselves in an impossible battle. How do you fight against an enemy when you can't even remember what they took from you? Some survivors of memory wiping began leaving clues for themselves, desperate to hold on to the truth. Messages scratched into mirrors, notes hidden in pockets, recordings of their own voices reminding them of who they really were. But no matter how hard they fought, the system adapted. If someone left behind evidence of their real memories, their mind could simply be wiped again. The world slowly fell into a dystopian nightmare where truth was a shifting illusion. Reality itself became whatever those in power decided it to be. In the end, people no longer questioned what was real, because they had no memories left to doubt it. A small group of resistance fighters, known as the Remnants, discovered a terrifying truth: memories weren't truly erased, just buried deep within the mind, locked away behind an impenetrable mental barrier. Every erased memory still existed, hidden beneath layers of false recollections, waiting to be uncovered. The Remnants, through painful and dangerous experimentation, found a way to break through the memory suppression. Using a combination of neurological stimulation and forbidden technology, they could force people to remember. But the process was far from perfect. Some who underwent the procedure experienced intense psychological distress, as conflicting memories fought for dominance in their minds. Others collapsed into insanity, unable to reconcile the truth with the false history implanted in their heads. Despite the dangers, the Remnants pressed on. They knew that if they could awaken enough people, they could start a rebellion, a real rebellion, one the government couldn't simply erase. They operated in secret, hiding from authorities who sought to eliminate them. They sent encrypted messages, leaving trails of hidden information, hoping to awaken sleeping minds. Their goal was simple: to restore humanity's stolen past and shatter the illusion that had enslaved the world. But the controllers of the memory wipe technology weren't willing to let go of their power so easily. They deployed enforcers to hunt down and eliminate the Remnants. Anyone suspected of trying to reclaim their memories was wiped again, and again, until they became hollow shells of who they once were. Time was running out. If the Remnants couldn't awaken the masses before the government perfected its technology making memories permanently irretrievable, the truth would be lost forever. Humanity stood at the edge of oblivion, trapped in a carefully constructed dream, and only a handful of rebels held the key to waking them up.